You hear, friends? You know what is it? Shifchi kamayim libeich? Non-stop, right? What you had non-stop. Hey, your Shabbos come. Hey, what's happening? Which planet are you coming from? How we have to, Mickey, you have to move up. That's how you come in. Seeing the other thing, Shifchi kamayim libeich. what I want to share with you. May not make sense, but who cares? Last week was Yerushalayim, this week is more noch better. What's Yerushalayim? Yerushalayim is that the Yid is non-stop for God. Believable to himself. Yitzchak Avinu is ready to die for God. Avraham Avinu is ready to give up everything. And the beginning of the Parsha is that Vayera Elef Hashem, God revealed to Avraham that inside, you're non-stop. All the stopping, all the holding back, it's only on the outside. Inside is non-stop. Why is it that, I'm sure it's clear to everyone, I've never seen a scientist or a doctor, what they're doing in their vacation. They don't want to hear the word science, they don't want to hear the word medication, they want to have a rest, right? Someone go to the Amshna Rebbe and say, listen Rebbe, you need a vacation. Take a vacation from davening, from serving God. Just read it, live it up. The Maramshik had trouble with his eyes. So the doctor says, you shouldn't use your eyes so much, right? You're overdoing it. The Maramshik was the greatest pupil of Chasam Sof in the system. He says, you have to take a rest and don't use your eyes for a few weeks. So, they were in Hungary, we were talking like half German, half Yiddish, So he said to him, wenn nichts lernen, was darf ich der Arg, If I'm not learning, what do I need the eyes for? See, it's not that non-stop, right? Non-stop. Why are we Yidden eternity? It's non-stop. Non-stop. I just want to tell you, when did Avraham Avinu become non-stop? Vayera Elef Hashem, when God revealed himself to him. Before that, Avraham Avinu also was inviting guests, right? But it wasn't non-stop. He sees mamish 3 pagans, and he runs and he serves them food non-stop. Right. The whole thing is non-stop. Mamish, not holding back at all. I want you to know something. The real non-stop of us Yidden is not in Torah she-bi-khtav. The written Torah has so many words, that's it. The real non-stop is Torah she-bi-khtav. How many times did we Yidden learn by Yeren Chayei Sara? And imagine, not everything is written down, imagine if in heaven they write down Torah she-bi-khtav of Yidden, Most probably on one Parashat Chayei Sara, there are so many Torahs and so many books in heaven. Mamash, you can cover the whole universe with it. Non-stop. I want you to know something. Until Avraham Avinu entered the covenant with God, he also was Machnus Arach. On the level of Torah she-bi-khtav. You're hungry? How much you want? You want 2 eggs? You want 3 eggs? You want toast? Coffee? That's it, right? Torah she-bi-khtav. The pochas for yours. After, just remember, Moshe Rabbeinu said to God, so what good is it you give us the Torah? Then the nations of the world will come and they'll translate it, and they'll say, yes, Torah. So God says, yes, Torah she-bi-khtav, there's nothing I can do. the Torah שבפה, כי על פי הדבורים האלה קראתי ברית. Torah שבפה, this is our covenant with God. So the beginning of Avraham Avinu is Torah שבפה. It's unbelievable, right? Avraham Avinu, you know what Avraham Avinu was, Machadish? Not only you can pray non-stop, you can pray actually for the lowest person in the world. Different kind of non-stop. There's no holding back. You can ask God for Sodom, you can ask God for everything in the world. And this is what I want to share with you just a little bit. Moses Machpelah something. When did Avraham Avinu, when did he get this deepest steps? You see, Torah she-bi-khtav is from God. Torah she-bi-khtav. When did Avraham Avinu suddenly become non-stop? When he saw those three angels. And one of them is telling him, you'll have a son Yitzchak. You know, for my children, I'm non-stop. For the first time, when Mama Shayid is coming to the world by Yitzchak, this is our non-stop. Don't you know something? You know, when I have to buy herring for somebody, go to the grocery store, buy a piece of herring, put it on the plate and give it to them. When I have to give a piece of herring to somebody I love very much, I take a special plate. And Mama, who knows, like I remember sometimes I was somewhere that they gave me a piece of herring, but they put the flour next to the herring, you know. You ask me, what does the flour have to do with the herring? You're already asking a finite question. Infinite. You know, Avraham Avinu could have gotten the Ma'oz Machpelah for free. You could have dared us a minute. And here is the deepest depth. The tree of knowledge is always stuck. This is good, this is bad. You know what dying means? Sodom and dying is the same thing. It stops, right? At Kana Kofana. You know what paganism is? This is the God for money, this is the God to have children, this is the God for the wind. But every little God stops somewhere. What's this heat and what's my religion? Beyond that. Non-stop, beyond. And we are Yidden because of God and because of our forefathers. Yerushalayim is a city where Avraham and Yitzchak serve God non-stop. Mamish non-stop. In heaven is the deepest fixing, you know, like, why was Avraham so buried next door to Nochach? This was the deepest fixing for the nochach. Because Avraham Avinu gave over to Yitzchak and Sarah gave over to Yitzchak. Mamish non-stop loving each other. Non-stop. You know, Eliezer is looking for a wife for Yitzchak. When everybody's asking, you remember the water was coming up front to Rivka, so he saw she's a holy girl. Why does he have to test her? But you know, from holy to non-stop is 10 million light years, right? So she's very holy. Doesn't mean she's non-stop. But if someone asks you for a glass of water, and you want to give water to 10 camels, non-stop. And also, what you know something, the deepest depths, you know, Eliezer is making up Torah shebaal. He makes up his own Torah. I'll ask the girl, give me water, and she will say, right? And what's Rivka? I talk about Torah. You see, he only said, Eliezer, she should say, I want to give to the camels. But it doesn't mean that she has to run back and bring more water. She should say, I give you to drink, and what's left over, give to the camels. And she said, Ata kilo nishtais. He says, I'll bring water and more water for the camels. Amish non-stop. Awesome non-stop. See, I want you to know, Ishbitzer says, why didn't Eliezer make a better kind of a test? I'll be standing there by the well, and then the little holy hippie girl will come and say, would you like to have a glass of water? Why does he have to ask? Let's see if she has a good heart. He said she sees somebody standing there, and she offers me a glass of water. This is the deepest of it. He says this doesn't mean anything. She has a good heart. The question is, if she knows the secret of davening. You know what davening is? God gives me also without me davening. But you know the way God gives it to me? Holding back. Doesn't give me non-stop. If I daven, it's the deepest way. You know, I can tell a girl, you know, I have a surprise for you. Tomorrow's our wedding day. You know what she'll say? Why didn't you ask me? Well, say, I know you love me, you want to marry me. You know what it is? If you don't ask, it's fine. Here it comes. If you ask, it's non-stop. You see, why was the water so angry at Noach? Right? Because the real non-stop in the world is not the earth. The earth is on the level of Torah she-bi-khtav. Water is Torah she-bi-khtav. Shifchi kamayim. So water was so angry at Noach. You know, I'm just saying this to you friends, you know, so strange, you know. Like, the world wants to take away your shrine and tell it. As much as Tzvas is holy, but I don't see this, that they want to take away Tzvas. You know where they want to take away Yosef? Yosef is the master of not being angry. Yosef could have been so angry with his brothers, right? He said you as a slave, and then you meet them, you're not angry. The whole world is based on anger. All the hatred is based on anger. Yosef was tzaddik, and here's Reb Nachman's Torah. So why are we talking so much about Yosef tzaddik being so holy with Ashes Potiphar? He says the deepest Torah in the world. If Yosef tzaddik would have done something with Ashes Potiphar, then his neshama wouldn't be pure enough not to be angry. Because you have to have a very, very pure neshama not to be angry. You know, sometimes you see people who are very holy, but they haven't fixed the anger yet. You know, it's so crazy, right? Avraham Avinu lived 4,000 years. You come and say Avraham Avinu. It's him and say Avraham. But the answer is Avraham Avinu is non-stop, right? Time and space is meaningless. So he lived 4,000 years ago, so much. Still my father. You see, the relationship with me and Avraham is like, I can ask Avraham Avinu to tie my shoes. I can ask him to wipe my nose. Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak, right? I mean, is it to be believed? Yitzchak is lying on the altar, he is an oiler to me, so holy. And I, the low Yidel, can ask Yitzchak, Heilige Tat, Yitzchak, can you wipe my nose? Because it's so close. It is so close. And here I just want to share with you. You know what the difference in paganism and serving God is very simple. If I'm a pagan and I'm serving my idols, I'm not close to them. I serve them because I need them. I'm not close to them. Serving God is not because I need God. Sure, I need Him also. So close. So you see, Rivka is mamish, infinite. You ask him, there's a word, infinite, mamish, infinite, everything. So here the Ishbitzer says, Hoshana Rabbah, it's the day of David HaMelech. What is davening? Davening is not holding back. Chumash Gevuros. He says, in heaven they're not holding back anything. Heaven is infinite. The only thing which holds back sometimes is the earth. He says the earth is full with so much treasures. Everything is growing in the earth. And we have not even discovered yet. There's probably 1/1000th of what treasures the earth has. And we discover more and more. So the Ishbitzer says that the earth is holding back. Holding back. I don't know if you know this. I do it in my shul. You know, a lot of people take their arovas and 5 times. I don't know if you know this. You know what the Ramovas Masakin, that you make an annoying with the arovas before. Yeah, you do it in the shop? Yeah, great. I think we did it when we were there also. Yeah. This here in shul, in my shul, an annoying with the arovas. As much as Mimi wasn't there, but it was still good. If you would have been there, it would have been even better. But you know what? It was the first you connect the arovas to the highest heaven. And you know what davening is? There's nothing to do if I deserve it in the arovas. Who's the master of davening? When the Eid comes before God and says, listen, you know, I'm very active in Jewish affairs, and I'm a Rosh Yeshiva, right? And who else? What else? I'm a Rebbe. Doesn't matter. Remember what the Maral says. When God says to Noach, it says, Noach is tzaddik, it was a tzaddik. Why didn't God say to Abraham, hey, you're tzaddik, I'll talk to you? Because the relationship to Abraham is not because of the tzaddik. Not less. So much deeper. Abraham Avinu. Think a Yid is close to God because he's a tzaddik? We should be a tzaddik. We can. Deeper than everything. This one, you know one thing, this month is Cheshvan. We're finishing already. Okay, just one more minute and we're finished. This month, everybody knows, it's called Cheshvan because we are still whispering, we are still davening. We are still davening all the prayers of Hashem. You know, when I meet somebody I don't like, the meeting is over, it's forgotten. When I love somebody very much, I whisper everything she said, I said, she said. Infinite light. Infinite. So this is, if a Yid wants to test himself, did you have a little finite for Shona? Or was it infinite? What kind of a hakufas did you have? Are you still going hakufas inside? Anyway, just want to tell you, I want to bless you, all of us. First of all, I want to bless you me that everything which has to do with Yiddishkeit should touch us on the deepest. Should touch us in a place which Avraham Avinu, which God revealed to Avraham Avinu, that there is such a thing inside. Something so deep. And you know why Avraham Avinu prayed for Sodom? Because he saw Mashiach is coming from Sodom. Why is Mashiach coming from Sodom? Lord, Ruth, everything is coming from Sodom. Because this is the answer test. That outside you can do Sodom. And inside you're getting ready for Mashiach. Don't know, right? We're looking at the world, we're looking at Eden. What do we know? You see, Avraham Avinu paved the way. All you need, it's tzaddik to show you. Lift you out of your outside. There is a term in the Meir Shlomo that says, Avrom Shoflem Koimah. He says, usually when you ask somebody a favor and say no, you feel far from them, right? They didn't do what they asked for. So Avrom Avinu, after God said no, you should feel a bit let down. There's no Avrom Shoflem Koimah. Went right back to the same place. You know what it means? Kept on praying for us. When you know Avram Avinu paved the place, the way for Moshe Rabbeinu. God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, don't go into the Holy Land. He kept on praying. You know, sometimes, without getting political, sometimes you see things look like it doesn't happen. Don't stop praying. Don't stop praying. What do you do? When you bless you, we should be more infinite mamash, infinite giving, infinite learning, infinite worship of prayer. And you see here that our biggest nichnas Lubaki is a fight. The Bereshit mamash got so deep. You know what it means? Lubaki also not to visit means to test, to call it. You know, sometimes you walk into a person and you think they're very sick. Because you know, it's just the outside, you need an aspirin, right? You know what God gave over to Avram? That all the evil in the world is outside. But a test, the vacuums of life. And we should have more heart for each other, more heart for the youth. And I want to say just one thing. I might be wrong, right? Why does it say Avrom, they look to him like Avrom? I don't think there were Arabs in those days. You know what means Avrom? They look sweet to him. You know what it is? When your mamish are so close to God, then the lowest pagan looks sweet to you. The Moshe was created them, right? You know, I tell you, Dari likes to draw. When she was 3 years old, she was drawing. It looked stupid, right? For me, it looked sweet, right? How much more if God did something in the world, create a human being? How can I say it's that, right? I want to bless you and all of us with all the evil in the world, but the whole should look sweet to us. People should look sweet. And we shouldn't stop praying for them. Pray for ourselves. And God should give us the privilege that we ask God, we shouldn't say no to each other. God will not say no to us. Let us sing one more good niggin, then we guys, all those people who didn't find their soulmate yet. You know what's going on? This Parashat is mamish crazy. After the Akedah, after Mos Machpelah, get ready for shit. You know what it is? Sad enough, I see a lot, but Fruma Yidden should forgive me. They think, you know, I don't want to say, sound too drastic. There's a big, was in Chubas, in Eisenstadt, it was maybe 100 years ago. So the Shoichet had two daughters, an older and a younger. So the younger got engaged before the older. Mamash Amais from Loben. And then by the chuppah, the father put the older. He put the older daughter instead of the youngest, right? Okay, it's Emes Gedusha Tos, you know, it was a joke, right? But then they asked the Chosen if he mind maybe marrying the older one. Can you imagine how much he was in love with the younger one? So I don't want to sound coarse or drastic. You know what it says? I'm hearing Yiddish. But it's Uchavab. You know? It's also a woman. Who cares, right? What kind of relationship is that? Heartbreaking, you know? I don't want to say anything bad. I see so much from circles when the boy comes to a sheet and say, I'm getting engaged. What's the first question? Is she from, right? Why? Nobody asked, do you love her? Or she loves you? I don't want to say anything bad. A book came out which should be burned. And it says, according to the Torah, in English, Achman is fall in the hands of a non-religious person. He go and schmart himself right away. It says, according to the Torah, there is no such a thing as love. There's only respect. And even that you don't have, but later on. What kind of talk is this? I don't know if the Torah says Yitzchak loves Rivka, and the Torah says Yaakov loves Rochel. You know what it is? It's this holding back. They know that it's such a thing, that the man loves the woman loves the man. It's a holding back, right? In the wrong way. What's the shidduch? Mamish non-stop, right? Mamish abortion. Why does it have to be called out in heaven? Because a non-stop between two people is not of this world. Right? Not of this world. And why did God make it in such a way that people have to be married to have children? Because unless there's non-stop between two people, they won't have non-stop for their children. I don't want to say anything bad, but I'm telling you, it's had something to cause. You know, in America, what's going on now, you know? I can't even say it, it's too stupid, you know? I want you to know that all those so-called non-married mothers who are trying to have children, but their relationship with their children is not non-stop. It's not non-stop. First of all, they don't want their child to take away their career. And I still live my own life. What kind of talk is that? Can you imagine someone said to Yitzchak, you know, please, I still have my career, right? And he just, let's say something. You know what laughing means? Laughing means I'm not taking it that serious. Friends, just give me the Torah from this Yaakov. I'm just changed my whole life. Saul was laughing, right? And God says she laughed. She says, no, Kirei, I was afraid. Well, what's going on there, right? You know what Saul was afraid? Sora was afraid, maybe I'm not serious enough yet. So the cube Sora was afraid, maybe there is 1 billionth ounce left inside that I'm laughing at this whole thing. You know, we don't know inside, right? You know, the whole Parsha is Mamish God is revealing to Avram the inside of Avram. And when God says to Sora, an angel says to Sora, you'll have a child, Sora was so afraid. And she says, no, Kirei, I was afraid. I was afraid maybe I'm not 100% serious yet. You know what Yitzchak is called laughter? When I am 100% certain about something, and you tell me something stupid, I laugh in your face, right? You imagine someone says to me, forget, Shabbos is not for you. I'm laughing in his face, right? Laughing in his face. But laughing is a very delicate thing, right? And here the Ishbitzer says, when God says to Avram and Sora, God was fixing Sora. Because before you have a son like Yitzchak, it has to be 100%, right? Why is Pachat Yitzchak in his laughter? You know, in Zer Kudish, the tree of knowledge is called Ilna Desteke, the tree of doubt. It was clear to him. Sure, Soranul, Hayipolam Hashem Dova. But the question how clear it is to us. Let me ask you, we're all learning Torah, how clear is it to us that the Torah gives life? We say, yeah, the Torah gives life. You know, there's an unbelievable story. There were 2 brothers. One was very rich, and the other one was learning day and night, and the rich brother supported him. Then the poor brother said, I don't want you to support me. Give me 10,000 rubles, and I'll make my own business. He gave him, and the ex-learning brother became a multi-millionaire, much more rich than the other brother. And they stopped learning just business. So one day someone says to him, are you still learning Torah? I would learn Torah. Would I be rich? Shh, listen to this. He got white like a sheet. I mean, he was still a very high person. He says, I'm dying in 5 minutes because the Torah took me to court before the heavenly court. And the Torah says, how can you talk like this about me?